Well, greetings everybody, and welcome once again to the illustrious show or something that we call the Inworld Review. We look at the people and the places and the arts in on that's probably the better phrase, the hypergrid. And for those of you who don't know what the hypergrid is, it's a system that actually connects multiple virtual worlds together. Think Second Life, but lots of them all connected together. And the only one that is not connected actually is Second Life, because that's a walled garden. But the engine that runs Open Simulator, which powers the hypergrid, is very similar. So if you know one, you know the other, you know them both, sort of. Other differences, but we'll get to that on occasion. Right. My name is Mal Burns, for those who don't know. On my right-hand side is right-hand man, who's going to be taking a week off next week, but we'll sort that out when it comes to it. It's none other than James Atlloud. Welcome, James.
Oh, thank you, Mal. It's been a long time since I've taken a vacation, so it's good to get
Yes,
away.
indeed.
Right.
Yeah. Off to the Wild Blue Land or
It's
wherever
not.
we
I remember well. It
Yeah.
was not so long ago. Oh
go.
well.
Was it? Okay.
Anybody who's taken a vacation in the last 2 years is buried in my memory the week that went wonky. It's the problem with doing a weekly show. You
Yeah.
tend to remember the highlights as the ones that didn't happen properly. Anyway, and on my left-hand side, wonderful co-host Tosha Tyran. Welcome, Tosha.
Thank you, Mel. I'm glad to be here.
As always, wonderful to have you here as well. Right, so this week is pretty much no particular guest this week, and presumably not next week. Although who knows what might come up. But a fair old bit to show you and sort of catch up on, so to speak. I'm going to start where we often. No, I'm not going to start where we often start. I'm going to start somewhere else first. Okay. Um, Let me just looky see. Oh, I see what's happened here. Okay, just news first of all. We showed you this last week actually, but this is on Pangea Grid, PANGEAGRID.DE, port in other words 8002, and then the region is Koeln, KOELN. And there's something happening on the 27th and then again on the 3rd of March and the 4th of March. Carnival type stuff. Right. Also, it's a fair old way off yet, but Hypergrid International Expo is not to be forgotten. Happens on April the 4th to the 6th, and we'll be taking a look at that, the region where that's held, very, very shortly indeed. And let me see. I thought we had another picture, something here somewhere that I found at the last minute, but I can't remember what it is and where it is. That's not very helpful, is it? Right. Okay. Let's go to that's the roundup. Okay. Let's move across and. As you know, Hypergrid Safari, which is we meet at the clubhouse and we're once a week on Wednesdays at noon Pacific time. And we travel to two appointed places on the hypergrid as a little club, and it's all run by Thursday Ember, who you may remember was a co-host on this show for many a long month or year or whenever, way back when. Anyway, we do tend to look at those. So Thursday tends to report on these things at her blog, which is actually called Hypergrid Safari, believe it or not. And on our bigger screen now, I've just loaded the web page. And this was on Neverworld Grid, and it's the Never Riders Club. Now, this was actually the second visit of the week.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I've got them in a different order. But here are some pictures from it. And can't go wrong with that. Well, we can if the slideshow doesn't work. What's going on here? Oh, sorry. I've got to go back. Good Lord. I think I understand what happened there. Right. Okay. Let's see if it works this time. Yes, it does. Okay. So picture one, where we sort of landed. Pretty basic stuff. I didn't get any film of this bit, although I did manage to get on a cycle. But if anybody knows me in virtual worlds, you know, I can't drive any better than I can. Well, I can. I'm worse than in the real world, to be honest. But I did manage to race that bike for a little while before coming off. Those are there. I don't know where she ever got on the bike, to be honest. There we are, starting off and around. These are all Thursday's pictures, of course. Oh, James, you did have you had a big fat bike, didn't you?
Oh, I loved my bike. It was great.
That is a good angle picture. It's got something about the sort of it just the mighty bike, with the human on top.
It glows. It's very iridescent bike. It reminds me of something that I wear. What is those things that I wear?
It could be a pair of shoes. Not quite the same
pair of shoes.
But, a pair of shoes tends to glow a bit.
Yeah.
In case we hadn't noticed. Oh yeah, that's right. There we are. Again, down at
those big tires kind of dwarfed you, James.
They kind of, yeah.
Oh, this is the point where about halfway up the mountain there was like a roadhouse, and we stopped off there and did a bit of dancing, got a bit of information, and a long view of the racetrack. It is a really long winding road. I got it confused at first with another one that actually goes up multiple levels forever and ever. But this is I've been here before to both, of course, but this was a single track. Unfortunately, what happened is after we came out again, as we're doing there.
There I go.
Oh God! Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you just have to, like a dragon, you had to throw fire at everybody, didn't you?
Yeah.
This is a great little bridge, and it sort of connects to an adjacent sim, which I think is part of the build. The only problem is you get to a certain point and you see the teleporting bar, so you know you're going to a different region. And then it throws you off the bike and you don't know what's going on. And gradually, over a period of time, everybody ended up standing on the bridge. Sort of, where's my bike gone? What happened? So the adventure kind of stopped, I suppose, at the point of the bridge. Yeah, things like that would tend to happen on the bridge too.
Well, that tend to happen on the real roads too.
Oh yeah, it depends. Well, that's what I say. It happened to me often enough. Every time I actually came up to the fence at the side, the bike went like that, and I'm a appalling driver, so
It almost felt to me like maybe the grid crashed because roads stopped rezzing and I stopped getting information. I didn't get people's avatars weren't showing up, so
it did feel a bit serious. Yeah, it did feel a bit serious.
It started out great. The grid was wonderful at the beginning.
You've got a competition in this photo. You've got your shoes on. You've got your big bike that glows, and now look at this. You've actually infected an avatar.
Yeah, that fellow was drinking some kind of potion. I forget what it was, but that's what caused the glow.
Right, radioactive juice. Yeah, we know what these bikers are like. They'll guzzle anything. Yeah, fair enough. Oh yes, and ooh, what's that? Oh, this is like a pile of. No, I don't know what it is. Anyway, that was that. Let's just see how I was placed on the old. This was our second stop here. Oh, this is 4 minutes, so I'll run this. This is my video of the same stop. A few close-ups of things that were in the. I started the video at the point halfway up. Well, halfway up the hill is not quite the right word, but when we arrived at the roadhouse, that was sort of the halfway point onto the bridge. A lot of detail. Yeah, they've sort of, look at the tables and, or it's all typical of bikers stuff. And so, the bong, a scattering of bongs on the table, bongs and beer. I think it was the name of the day, theme of the day, I should say.
It would be nice for a safari, and I love to travel. I love to walk around during a safari and move around. But maybe it would be useful to have something of an itinerary. When we do a safari like that, and at half the hour, let's meet here, and then at the end, let's wrap up over here. That might help me a little bit. Knowing where to go.
So when there is a lot of moving around, it's often in chat or shouts like "time to go, come back here to meet" or something, isn't there? But it's not written in the the note card just contains the landmarks for where to go and any text.
I love the combination. A lot of motorcycling and a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I remember there's a poster on a very old thing from the 60s, I guess, a biker image. It's a biker comic strip actually, but they'd taken the picture and made a cover of a magazine, right? And the tagline said, "Smoke beer and ride ripped." Now, I don't know I ever tried that, but it had a certain ring to it, didn't it? Yeah, this was the beginning of the bridge, of course, and that's where all hell broke loose. This was me long beforehand in camera only, so I was exploring on camera. So it was sometime later that we actually went there and crashed. But
The road layout was just amazing. And
yeah, all over the place, going up, down, twisting and turning, and that made it hard to pick up any kind of speed because, of course, I would not be able to maneuver the corner easy. I'd hit the wall, and then my bike would get that strange pose we saw a minute ago.
But from a building standpoint, I just don't know how they do that.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
amazing.
And of course, there's not only the way up we followed from the point they chose as a start and the roadhouse halfway up, and then we get to up again to the bridge, but actually there's another whole division of roads that go a different way, heading down, or you can go up a completely different way. All these things are pretty near the top, and as you can see in camera, I was probably too far away to get them to res properly, but you can get an idea of the size of it just from
that's awesome
squibbling about there.
Yes.
And it is fun to, I must say, I mean, I think the thing I like, I always crash the cars, I crash the bikes, I seriously crash any aeroplane I'm in, but I usually just about handle a boat because there's lots of wide open water and I can turn left, right, or flip upside down by mistake and nothing seems to matter until you get to the coast. But, so I think I'm a boat person when it comes to the world.
I can drive fairly well as long as I drive very, very slowly. And then I feel kind of foolish when everybody else just passes me by.
They were flying by you, and I think, I'm not doing this right, am I? They just chain off, of course. All the people who rush by you, but. Yeah, and you can see there the bridge heading to actually nowhere. I would have had to go a lot further. There we are. Yes, I thought I was going to go into a tunnel there. It didn't happen. There's nothing beyond it except for an advert. So, well, you can see why there's nothing beyond it there.
I think there might be a teleport there, actually.
Oh.
Like a gate, so if you bike into it, right?
I went into it and it didn't do anything, but
with your camera or with an avatar.
A good point. I forget, to be honest. Anyway, that was that. So let's move back to the first stop. It's called Best Resort, and this was. Let me just. Well, I'll go through the pictures anyway. I've sort of kind of forgotten a bit.
Oh, it's the planet Risa from Star Trek.
Yes, that was such a beautiful landscape in there.
Yep.
Yeah, really. So
also, the buildings were beautiful.
Beautiful.
But the landscaping just hit me off my feet.
Yep.
The buildings reminded me of that other wonderful builder who does the Egypt and oh God, I've forgotten the name.
Luna.
No, of course, it always ends up dancing with me. My memory's terrible. Yeah. Anyway, there's a.
Is that Luna Lunaria, Mal, that you're thinking of?
Yeah. Luna Lunaria. Yeah. An instance of a starship there, and then floating over the planet. And my knowledge of Star Trek wasn't
that starship in the air. It looks really awesome, but it also looks a little dangerous, a little threatening. I think.
Yeah, but
imagine you lift up your head, and all of a sudden above you see a gigantic starship just hovering over your house.
But it's the Federation, Tasha. They're a post-scarcity society. All is good.
Advanced technology.
Well,
Have you ever, oh God, what am I thinking? They had a novel, I think it's Arthur C. Clarke's Childhood's End. It begins with ships appearing all over the world, over cities. And they really hang, they're down low. And if you visualize it, you think, why don't they fall off? They look like they're going to fall on you. Of course, they just hang out there for a few centuries. I forget the plot. I lost the plot as usual. But yes, this was, at least when you're down on the ground and you rezzed in that wonderful area, you weren't aware. I wasn't aware the starship was there. It wasn't until I was camming and panning upwards I thought, oh,
Yeah, that's true.
where the frick did that come from?
It's rather high up. Yeah.
So yeah, the most common view when we arrived was just a bit like this, really, but lovely, lovely sort of architecture. I didn't know anything about the planet Reva. I'm not that into much of a Trekkie, but is it in an episode or in films or a recurring planet?
Oh, sure. It's was referenced in one episode of the Next Generation, and it's just a place that is very luxurious and focused on having a good time. It's a vacation planet.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, there you go. We had a bit of a vacation for the 50 minutes, I suppose. Yep. There's the man with the glowing shoes again. He's back to us. Come on, move, thingy. Oh, God. Sorry. Everything went here. There we are. Right. Try and get normal speed again. All right, there we are, all posing in places, and yep. And guess who's found a place to sit?
Yep.
Does he ever find a place to sit? Always.
Relaxing.
Right. A ground shot there with the starship in the background, which is interesting. I can barely see myself, but I recognise the hat. Okay. Yeah, and the long and not particularly winding road.
The ruins of an older civilization.
Yeah, that was kind of nice. Oh, yeah, really looking dapper with those shoes as well. And there's Tina Bay as well. Yeah. She always looks more or less the same. But I don't know. I like the way she looks. More animated GIF. Plenty of water here.
So what really blew me away is I hadn't watched the chat super closely, and I went to visit later, and then I realized all of this is built in a skybox. It's I mean it felt like land, but it does. Yeah, it's 6,000 meters in the air. It's amazing.
Well, I'll be damned. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I mean, I suppose you teleport, you land where you land, and so long as the mesh under your feet or whatever it is, it doesn't go phantom, you're okay.
Right.
Okay, and the teleport board, and we did. I remember we did teleport somewhere. I forget. Oh, it's the Klingon planet or something. Yeah, but it doesn't look like so.
Yeah, so 17 locales to visit on this place. It's amazing.
All on. Well, they're different things at different levels. Basically,
that's my imagining. I didn't get to see them all, but that's what I imagined.
Yeah. Oh, nice stuff. So, talking of which, this was some film I took while we were there. I started off, as you can see, the hue, and I think this would, with me landing, it would be set to the shared user environment. So all this bluish hue and stuff is presumably the default look. So I'm busy doing the follow job. Basically. Oh, that line's I love the way it roars just as she walked past. Seemed rather harmless. It didn't chase her or eat her or anything, but
And I think you're following Stormy. She was the host.
Yeah. When I film these things, usually the person I choose to follow is the host, because rather than try and walk and follow up and keep up, basically I wait till they pause. And then I double-click teleport myself to where she stopped. So it will happen very quickly there, actually. But I think I've teleported in to catch up with her, which actually works quite smoothly. And go, oh no, there we are. If you sometimes if you're on the same region, the teleport bar happens so quickly you barely notice. Unlike hypergrid jumps and things. But yes, so very, and again, see on film, there's quite a lot of detail in, the cushions on the chairs,
nice architecture,
things on the table, and the lighting, which, oh look, it's lost its feathers. That's what happens with you're sort of the right distance from a mesh for it to flicker on and off in your view.
Well, the peacock also lowers its feathers, its tail feathers.
Oh, maybe that's right. Yeah. Maybe that's what happened. I've got several peacocks, but I don't think any of them lower their feathers.
Another nice aspect of the build were all the NPCs, especially the beach. It had so many NPCs that it felt lived in and populated.
Very much so, very much so. I think I've got them in. There's actually a second bit of film here. So after I'd filmed the first bit of film here, I was concentrating on the build and surrounds. And then I fired up a second film when the safari itself moved to the beach.
I don't recall. Were you here, Tasha?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I certainly thought of you when I thought of the architecture here.
First 10 minutes, and then I was gone, and another 10 minutes, and I was gone, like that about 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
yeah.
And then I decided not to come to the second place because I knew it would happen the same thing again.
You get disheartened when that happens, and one relog now and again you can cope with, but especially if you're in the middle of something, and I was into this. Actually isn't relevant to OpenSim, but I was really, listening to Charlie Fink's podcast earlier, and they have a guest, Sean, somebody who's from.
There I am. Well, really, the short times I was there, I really greatly enjoyed this place. I thought it was very beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I was about to say was a lot of these new style worlds you find on the web and things, if they claim they can cope with a lot of people, it's because they're sharding. And there's nothing worse than crashing them, because you come back and instead of being with the friends you were left with, who are still on another shard, which is a different instance, you get put with some people on the latest shard to come up, and so where have all my friends gone? The sharding really doesn't work. So that's another reason when you sort of crash and think, oh, I can't be bothered to go back. But I was listening to a podcast earlier about a new it's a metaverse browser that will work from independently or from within a standard browser. But it's a bit of a long way off yet, but open source, so it sounded interesting. And the CEO of it was in big praise of Second Life too, so knew his stuff. But they were promising a thing that could cope with thousands of people at once without needing to shard. And but apparently they wouldn't say more, because that's the one top secret patent that they have. Everything else seems to be open source, but that thing they're keeping under wraps. Not surprised. Yeah. So which one? Oh yeah, and then and here we go again. Had to film a bit more. James had parked himself. Yeah, there he is sitting again. I wonder why he was actually sitting for so long there. He must have had an interesting view.
Just a fan. That's right.
Yes. Can't think what. It wasn't the seaside at this point. There he is.
The Orion Dancing Girls. That's right.
Yeah.
They're notorious in Star Trek.
Yeah. Notorious in your mind, I should think. The good old Paul does. Oh, this NPC was great. She's sort of like a piratey sort of bartender. So, and she's got a bird, a parrot on her shoulder. She had this, something very iconic about that avatar. But I must admit, I was thinking pirate much more than sci-fi. And yes, it's just. Oh no, this is a long clip and it's just stopped. So I'm going to do. Oh well, do some fast forwarding. So we had those are in close up. Let's just move a bit. We're moving around there. To save on time, there's our host yet again. The camera following her. This, I believe, is the bit where she takes us to the ocean, which you're not really aware of the ocean until you get there, or almost get there, I should say. And She doesn't walk in a straight line, which is a bit odd. So maybe I'll preempt her. Oh, right, we ended up somewhere else. James again. That's love that coat on that woman.
It's Tarna.
Mm-hmm.
Very elegant.
Yeah, people sort of popping in and arriving. Yeah.
And when I saw her like that, I was wondering if there are now some naked animals walking around.
But something I do know. I don't think it's on this. There was certainly a naked person. Whether it was on this safari or not, I didn't dwell on them. But
Yeah,
Well,
there's one that was constantly around naked and without head.
mm-hmm.
oh, even better.
And it didn't change either. And I just saw it was not only my viewer, I just saw it now for a split second.
Yeah.
Well, in context of the build, it's a pleasure planet, and so nudity is certainly allowed.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but headless nudity.
Yeah, it
Well,
wasn't an NPC gone wrong. It was actually
it was someone whose inventory didn't come, right?
somebody on safaris.
Yep.
Yeah. You got to remember about many people are actually dragging their whole inventory around when they visit these places. So it's like, you've got an avatar with a huge backpack and another one that doesn't. And there's lovely Tosha again. And another third. I think that's another Thursday. There's a lot of Thursdays around. Right. So I can usually tell.
At least 2 on every safari.
Yeah. Most of her abbeys are actually variations on the familiar face.
Mm-hmm. I just wonder how she can handle it, because I cannot.
Oh, there's
there is the naked one without the head.
the head was nude. That does look odd. I've got to admit, the combination of headless and it's probably a mesh head that's gone walkabouts here.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
When I first arrived on the motorcycle sim, in fact, I had the same problem. My mesh was coming through in pieces, but it did eventually organize itself.
Dinks is always recognizable too, doesn't he?
There we are again.
Mm.
Nice sort of what do you call that? Settee or couch. I love those ones with all the pattern cushions and stuff. Better than the one we got here. Maybe we should redo our set with more of that kind of decor.
Yeah, they had beautiful textures everywhere, not only on the couches.
Okay. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, that was my way of getting upstairs. Zoom out through the window back in. Nobody actually jumped into the bath, but...
Not even me.
What? You didn't sit in the water?
I didn't go into the bath. I did not.
The question is, would a sit put you on top of the water or would it be under the water?
Good question. All right.
Which obviously under the water would look a lot better. Oh, there it comes again. I should take some exclusive footage of that avatar and then make a song called "The Headless." Here come the headless nude again. Here come the headless nude again, nude again, nude again. Tosha's looking on again. So, are we at that? I thought we should be at the beach by this time. Let's go forward a bit. This looks like we're heading into sandy, grassy sort of. No, maybe not. Oh, there's the dancer again from the rear. Yeah, it's a long walk to the ocean there. Oh yeah, and I went up in camera first when I sort of figured out where we were probably going. And of course, I would just have followed her and then teleported to her when she stopped. So there we are, everybody arrived. Oh grief, how did we get back there? Oh, and no, of course, these ruins were actually right by the ocean. So we were paused there for a while. Okay, I've got a minute or so to go. It looks like I didn't really get much of the beach after all. But what James you said was right. The NPCs and the random meshes too, and it did look, it looked like the whole the whole thing was a party on the beach. The whole of the starship crew beamed down for party on the beach. Yeah, because actually, apart from us, the other areas were relatively deserted. But there's some really. I've got a special region coming up today, which is a new region. Has some very good NPCs on it. Yes, it looks like I didn't get to film enough of the beach. Never mind. That does seem to be pretty much the end of it. Okay, so that's Safari done. So I will come back to our OpenSim adventures a little bit later. Okay. Yeah, that's the stop point. And right, this is the next one I'll be showing. So what? Oh, those ones I've done, haven't I? Okay, now I know where I am again. Okay, so a little bit of interlude, I think. Not that one, sorry. Last week, we were looking around on CraftGrid, and Tosha here was taking me around various choice sort of places. And one of them that I sort of filmed while we were talking over it was the Apello villa story. It was, the villa that you see before and after.
Oh,
From the ruins. And some time ago, Wizard Oz Chrome made a film of that for Tosha, and I thought we'd reprise that today to get a different. This obviously has sound on it, so we're not talking so much, but it's a reprise of that region, really. So I thought we'd show it again today. 2018, so not actually that long ago, surprisingly. But that really does do a wonderful job of telling the story. I mean, I know
Isn't it?
we discussed it last week, and
Yeah.
but the only thing a bit confusing is we see the boat where it's hidden, and then we see it sunk. we don't have any bit where
Okay.
it takes a while to catch up, because you think. But yeah, the whole three chapters, as it were, just told us machinima. Very wonderful.
I think she did a really wonderful job, and she did tell the story that I meant to, to illustrate.
Yeah, just sequencing it. So yeah, so it was a great place to visit. Well, an interesting place to visit, I should say. Hardly what you call great in the good sense, but really powerful stories there in film. Right, so moving on to what we got. Let's do the Hypergrid first. Okay, I put this up earlier, April 4th to 6th, 2025. We, and I say we because James and Tosha, along with Thursday, and others are involved with putting this on. Multi-language, basically, expo. And this year it's already really taking shape. Well over 100 booths in the sort of expo grounds, so to speak, and fully. The agenda is pretty much done. I'm gonna read just first of all from what I can here. Friday, April 4th is a music event from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. All this is Pacific time. Saturday, April the 5th is a 5-person introduction to the event, and followed by a German session, which is half day in German, introduced by Laurie Destiny. Oh, hang on. No, we don't know. Yeah, introduced by somebody, I should say. The first session, Laurie Destiny, then Bink Draconia and Neocortex. Then the French session, introduced by Mineral Loop, with Nadia Ray, Cherry Manga art, and Pradeep Thias, I believe, I don't know how to pronounce it. Le Monde Francophone in Open Sim. So probably be a little bit of a look back there on the original Franco grid too, which of course is no longer with us, but whatever. Okay. Oh, my mouse has gone wandering to the wrong place, hasn't it? Here we go. And so that's French. And on the Sunday, the Italian session would be Lorenzo Colligno. Correct me if I'm wrong. Introducing it. Eva Cry or Celso Sventag, followed by Sunshine Savannah and art and music, in fact, because she's I haven't picked it up yet. She's got some music for me for playing on that, and Luciana Mattei. And then finally, the very final session of the weekend will be in Spanish, and guess who's introducing that? It's somebody called Tosha Tyran.
Oh,
I take it you knew about that.
Well, until the day before yesterday, for sure. I didn't.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes, isn't it? And you'll be introducing Sirana Soy Moxie.
Tirana Ojimoji.
Very good, right. And Vivir El Arte Entre Dos Realidades. Followed by Victoria Logan doing an art piece, and Gio Portel at the end, Fuera de Este Mundo, and then brackets it says edited, so I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, Sosa did put those in our back channel, so I thought I'd read them out to give you a pretty sort of idea of what would be happening over that weekend. But we also went in there earlier. And yeah, we'll start off with this one. I got about 4 minutes here of Tosha having a little walk around with me. Well, sorry, a walk around with my camera, to be honest. I was just clicked and followed her. And basically, you can see behind there the Hypergrid International sign, and one of the booths, the Fruity Music Bar. Basically, everybody exhibiting got a booth that looked a bit like that, and they were free to modify the bits of the booth however they wanted. And some of the booths actually this year have actually removed bits to give them a open front look, or just it's almost like there's a competition going on there. Somebody comes in and they get a booth and they come in and there's 20 or 30 booths already there. So now what can I do that's different? It's quite a challenge to have over 100 of these booths and make them actually look different. But I was quite impressed that they had. Here we are. Tosha took a while to start walking, didn't you? What's happened there? The final. Looks like the camera's gone a bit skew with. Let's move forward a bit. Oh. All right, well, something appears to have gone wrong with that clip. I don't know what. Okay, well, I did have another clip I took afterwards. Hopefully this one's a bit better. I've been getting this recently with some of the clips, but they're on a nice solid state disc, but some of the loose bits in transfer. This is me coming around. That's the main kind of arena. A bit like a night sort of club. As similar years, but this year it's all one big VAR region, very big, I should add, instead of 4 joined regions. And again, I'm just doing what Versa did, but doing it from the air. I'm looking at some of these.
But a word about the booths, they are really so great. I'm always surprised how many different looks people can give to this basic booth that was handed out to them,
Yeah.
So much creativity, so much beauty they put in there. Yeah. That's really cool.
It is. I mean, like I say, it's just a basic booth. And I forget, but I think I made the original one, actually, just premium bits, and thought, well, we'll have everybody.
But one of these days, Mel, you will explain to me why you always film so dark, because it really.
You did mention that last week.
I cannot really see so well, and I think it's a bit of a shame. Sometimes it's cool when you have some lights and to show off the lights, but if it's an overview like this, then I think it's too dark.
Yeah, it might actually. I can't remember whether this is what Thursday has got the region set to. I mean, we always used to have it dark, the actual dark, because of the nightclubby feel of the auditorium. But there's
in the auditorium is one thing, but when you walk around in the booth here,
yeah, I should have. A good point. Oh, we'll be doing more of this before it starts again. So I'll do another bit of film for a later show. And you can remind me to film in daylight. This gets the vibe of the thing anyway, so it'd be nice to have it at different times of day.
But to follow around this walk, this path here with all the booths, and then you come across some works of art, and I think mostly, if not all, of Tina Bay, and they just fit and match so nicely. It's really worthwhile. And the booths introduce the different grids and the different regions and the different things people can make, and some are just about one person, some are about a whole group, some of a whole grid, and it's all different. And some give little gifts, little
gift giving
or shirts, or I don't know, flattering things, or it's really very, very nice place to go, and very interesting.
When you were walking around, something that I mean, I've seen it from the air and seen how many we got, and also it's divided into sort of quarters with different colored trees, and the trees are in the color. The trees are in the color of the different regions.
Yes, and the regions are of the different languages, I think.
Yeah.
You have to later when you go to visit the place, then you have to go to the different colored regions, so to speak, which are not really different regions. They are
Yeah.
all on
Yes.
one VAR region,
Yeah.
but there will be offered in chat or within the language, depending on the region you are in, and you join the group. There will be the chat in that language offered to you,
Of
the
course.
translation of the speeches.
Yeah. Yes, you can have. You can join. I think there's 6 groups. Am I right in thinking there's a Japanese group this year? But there's,
No,
oh,
no,
right. There's
no.
certainly French,
Uh,
German, Spanish, and Italian, and there is an
yeah,
English group.
and
So
then English.
although it's not in
Yeah,
English, the event, it's anybody from
yeah,
English speaking will be able to
yeah,
follow
yeah.
it.
And I really
One thing
think
I
it's good.
found, I was looking at this from the air the other day and thinking, oh, wow, look at all, over 100 of these booths already in there. Of course, they circle the auditorium room this year. They're not in 3 quarters around it. But the odd thing I did experience when I was filming this, and when you were walking around, in fact, was these booths aren't really all on the left and right hand side of the paths anymore. The paths go all over the place, and some
They're on
paths,
both sides. Yeah.
yeah, there are some booths that are actually way off the path, and I was thinking, well, if I was walking around this, trying to, like you go to a real world, a festival thing, and all the booths are around the perimeter, so you just walk all the way around the perimeter, you've seen them all. Or you go to a trade show and there's, you
Oh,
kind of go up and down the trade floor so you can see them all. Oh yes, guess what? This is where
but
we're.
you follow the path, and
Yeah,
then you can, if you follow all of it, you can see all of the booths also.
yeah, yeah. I did.
Each
I did.
one is
Yeah, I
e-
thought there was some that strayed from the path a bit, but
each one is at the path. They're on both sides of the path, of course.
it's the end. There is our booth as well.
Very good.
So you can see our pictures there, even if we're not posing behind us. Too busy to be posing around NPCs or whatever. Okay, let me just have a quickie. I can't believe, I don't know why that's. Yeah, something
That's
obviously.
strange. Yeah.
Yeah, something obviously jammed with the camera transferring it.
Well, no
Uh,
matter. We'll have a little more time.
I'm actually I'm just crossing over quickly to the folder where the original is stored, and right, that's there we are. This one may work. This is the original. It's on another. It's actually on the network somewhere else. Ah, no, it must have been something on the master copy. Oh well. It's a nice thought. It was only 4 minutes anyway, but when we met earlier, I thought, well, I remember.
Maybe I just walked too fast.
Yes, I know. It's all that speed walking, wasn't it? What else could it possibly be? He asked himself. Right. Okay. Another quick interlude then. We did it. Right, we got a new one from guess what? The weekly Karima Hosan show, really.
Oh.
You didn't notice while you were sleeping the fighting or killing each other. The earth was sighing, giving up and saying, it's just too much. I'm going down. And she left her orbit and let herself fall to be carried by the tides. It was almost past the point of even trying. Earth's entire population went to sleep. As they fell lower and lower, they chose not to see reality, this cosmic drama unfolding. The earth was in pain, but nobody was listening. The few that did wake up watched in horror and felt too helpless. Lulled by pretty colors, most stayed in their dreams, speeding into eternity, plowing through the natural disasters, which felt anything but natural to her. Earth saw the small and weak cut down, too young, the injustice of the haves over the have-nots. Earth felt the fever that was rising. She welcomed the floodwaters of the end. Every fire burned her, every bomb broke her open. Some might say, well, all that is just on the surface. The earth can bounce back. The tipping point was when she could bounce back, but didn't. Going down and starting over seemed the only way. She let herself sink back into everything from where she came. Mercy was the last word on her mind.
I can't get enough of those films, to be honest. Karima just has wonderful voice, wonderful poems, and interesting.
Karima really knows, yeah, she really knows how to make beautiful videos. But the sound was kind of broken up. Was that for you too? It was kind of stuttering.
I think some of that was deliberate. Certainly at the beginning, but I didn't know. It didn't seem to be too unusual because her voice was coming through over the top fine. So, don't know. Who knows? Okay, let me move along here. Oh, we looked at that, didn't we? Oh, right. Okay. Back to some new regions and stuff. This is a site called a central teleporter. That is literally the name of the region, and it's on OS Grid, so you can probably find it fairly easy by get OS Grid port number colon and then central teleporter. I've actually got it down in my favorites here now, and actually the C for central is lowercase. But yeah, central teleporter, it's all lowercase, so there's no capitals in that time. But yeah, it's on OS Grid. And the reason I popped here is actually this advert basically is portals to a lot of things that have been built by the same person that we saw at the beginning there, Victoria somebody. And the reason I ended up here was because the new sim called Canyons that I've chosen for the week actually had this a guide sort of coming here. Yeah, it's by Victorious Oppe Wall. That's well, VICTORIOUS space OPPEWALL on Inworld. And the one we're going to look at next. Oh, well, I can mention it when we get there, which is a few minutes. One of the ones on her display here is called Canyons, and I found it on Inworld yesterday, I think, as a latest build. Basically, it's considering how much there is in it. It's had a lot of work done. I'm sure it wasn't all done in one day, but it's actually been online for a fairly new period of time. And yeah, we're going to see that in a minute. So that's the end of that bit. Okay, this is what we're... No, it's not. Oh, it's the one before this. Sorry, got so many clips here. Okay, here we go. So I landed, and you can comment on this as you go. Actually, it's really just a sort of visual treat. This is the landing point. We got a Native American on a horse there. At the time, I didn't realize the surprise that was going to be coming up. On the promotion for this, which I can probably, oops, no, there we are, on OpenSimWorld, in fact, osgrid.org 80:canyons. We didn't make a lower third for that, but never mind, you can see it there. Added by somebody called Sandy, not the Victoria woman. It's only 2 days ago. But yeah, here we are. Happy to announce they've opened a new region called Canyons. You will find here wild nature and an Indian tribe people. There's a shuttle tour for sightseeing. Well, I didn't find the shuttle tour for what I was doing, but that was more than happy with my camera there. So we didn't miss much there, just panning around. A few horses. There's obviously a gift shop that's got nothing in it yet. And they've got these little booths there too, which simply have pictures of various parts taken in parts of the region. But it's called Canyons, obviously, because it's like a giant canyon. Now, I don't know what the size of the VAR file is. I think it could be 3 by 3 or something. It's certainly, when you're underground, it is certainly a long way, a lot to walk through. Most of it from the air, of course, is canyons, but when you're on the ground, you know, you're on the riverbed or the ocean side and stuff.
Beautiful.
And, yeah. So yeah, that's what I thought. I always try and pick these picturesque regions, probably because I'm filming them and think, oh, something nice and pretty to film.
Quite amazing.
It actually reminds me of, I think it's one of the games in the Myst series or something, has a location a bit like this as part of it. But there is somebody we know called a chap called Nebadon. He actually made I think it was in Science Space or Sansar, one or the other. He did a whole life-size build, well, to scale, of course, of the Grand Canyon, and it really did take you about 22 hours of gameplay to just walk from one end to the other. And this certainly doesn't take that long. But there's also sort of tributaries running off from things here, like a rock bridge, and where you can see where my camera's going. It's not one big waterway or anything. There's lots of tributaries. And yeah. Apart from the horses and a few things down there, very little activity around the main canyons as yet, though I suspect that will change. But they've put an awful lot of detail into the Native American encampment. And I think it's quite funny. When you go to the landing spot here, if you look carefully, you'll see something, and you can possibly find your way quite quickly to the encampment. But otherwise, if you start walking around trying to find it, you can enjoy yourself getting really frustrated. Because they're being, they've basically hidden themselves very well. They don't want any old cowboy coming in disturbing their peaceful tribal camp, So also, I've got a feeling they do a bit of scalping and stuff. So I wouldn't think you really want to visit them anyway without being invited. But anyway, it's just lovely contrast to the rocks. I always like the sea and the rocks and the wild sort of feeling, although inland here is everything but. And I suppose, we could get one living thing there, sort of. A bear. No, I can't say woof woof, you're the wrong thing. Yeah, the way I actually do discover the oh no, that's it. I go up there. Yes, that's the way back through to the starting point. And at least Tosha would be pleased to know that whatever the default settings were on this region, it wasn't dark. It wouldn't. I don't think it would have worked in the dark. Actually, there we are. That's actually their encampment. You see, they're hidden in a sort of rectangular bit of, and you can see it from above, obviously, but on the ground, you've just got to go through those trees for a crack in the rocks, and lo and behold, you're in there.
Oh, beautiful!
There's about 3 levels. There's a sort of outer level, which I'm not quite sure what's going. Then there's the next level is where all these animals and things are kept, the horses and whatever. And a lot of chopped off heads on and things here. Obviously a different world, different time. A sort of relaxation area here where they're all these are all NPCs, of course. As opposed to Animesh, but I've seen they all work very well. There's actually a sequence where I thought they were on a line dance kind of thing, and then I looked carefully, and all their animations are actually slightly different. They're offset a bit. So they're having what do the Native Americans call their knees ups? Their pom pom or something. I don't know. I think there's a name for it. You get invited to a pom pom or something if you're friendly cowboy.
I don't know, but frankly, I doubt that
I don't know either.
Native Americans walked around almost naked all the time.
Yeah, but it's in the warmer climes. And talking almost naked, this lady's fully naked and quite discreetly. In fact, I think might be an Animesh. I can't remember. And lots of dogs around here. This is the inner bit, where all the wigwams are, or teepees, whatever you call. We used to call them wigwams, but I think they're meant to be called teepees or something. And
depends on your tribe.
Very good. I did not know that. And lots of little doggies. So they obviously kept dogs. I think that there's a bulldoggy thing walking around here, and he's wearing what looks like
finally some dressed people too.
Yeah, or half dressed in the case of this one. But there's a dog here, and it's a bit unusual because it's like a bulldoggy sort of thing, but it's got a chain around its neck, which is obviously meant for a modern leash. It doesn't. It's the one thing that doesn't. But there it is. If you can, well. I didn't dwell on it, but So
but it makes the region nice and lively looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this we mentioned earlier, there were the beach and things on that other region we Safari went to, making it lived in because there were so many avatars moving around and stuff like that. This is very much the same. It's in total contrast to the rest of the sim, The region at the moment is all canyons and a few animals wandering around, but then you find this encampment and, get a whole feel for that, period of time when they still have reservations, but they're a whole different thing nowadays, of course. This is when well, it wouldn't be called a reservation then. It would just be a camp or something, I guess. So, I mean, if this has been open 2 days and this is you've got all this detail in here. I mean, I imagine they've built it offline so far, and now it's online, and they can start filling out the.
But really, it looks quite nice.
Yeah, got some chickens as well. Keep the dogs company. And yeah, these NPCs are pretty active. You keep bumping into the same one again. It's obviously got quite a roaming past, should we say, for animated to cover quite a distance and circuit, as it were. And this is Outlaws from the air. Of course, if you're in the air, you're cheating. So, but in contrast to the rest of the region. And you can see it's hidden. There's a way into there, but it's not even an arch. It goes into trees first before you make your way through there. And there's a second entrance I found, or more of an exit, but much more hidden. But if we, yes, this bit is quite nice. More of it's got the grassland and the Indians on a horse there looking after the herd. Buffalo, I guess these are, aren't they? Which is actually on the other side of the river from the encampment, but I guess they've got a way over. No actual bridges anywhere, although there are some rock, like at the bottom there, there's a kind of rock ledge. And I forget where this ends. It's about to end. But if it does go back, if my camera decided to go back to the starting point, maybe there's a minute or so to go. We will see. Basically, at the starting point, if you look at one of the canyon, the cliffs, at a certain angle, you see there's a sort of diagonal walkway going up the side, carved out of the rock. And that takes you up very quickly to a waterfall, and behind the waterfall is the other way you can enter that encampment. Oh no, so that's where we finish actually. It could almost be a perfect photograph, that, couldn't it? So yeah, as I said, this you will find at hg.osgrid.org/80, that's all you need at OSGrid, and then :canyons, CANYONS. Of course, if you're in OSGrid, all you need to do is look up canyons, and you'll find that easily enough anyway. So, okay. Now, I forgot, right. We were talking about OpenSim, the Expo, and there's one thing I actually left out here. And I've translated this into English, so I don't need the copy I just made on the side here. Oh, God, I am. Okay. But is this your poem or walk through the Expo site, Tosha?
Is that my what?
Your little poem here on the blog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
It sounds a little bit better in German, because the whole post is in German actually.
Yes, I realised that. Yeah, I get a window pops up when it asks me if I want to translate automatically, so I did. But yeah, no, I think it was. So, look, they are again like colourful melodies, creative, beautiful songs from the OpenSim galaxies. My heart can understand them because on years of travel it's acquired a knowledge of labour and pleasures of a highly virtual nature. I love these little works of art that stand on all these paths as captivating eye catchers. Your designer's bright ideas. See, I did the reading for you.
Yeah, thank you.
If you want, you can do it in German. Yeah, why not? Why not do it in German?
Well, let me I have to find it first. Just a sec.
Actually, I might be able to do that for you on the screen. There we go. Oh no, it's come back to English. It's my fault for.
Okay. In German it goes like this. Oh, schau, da stehen sie wieder, wie bunte Melodien. kreativer, schöner Lieder aus OpenSim-Galaxien. Mein Herz kann sie verstehen, denn auf jahrelanger Fahrt erwarb es ein Wissen von Wehen und Freuden höchst virtueller Art. Ich liebe diese kleinen Kunstwerke, die in allen Wegen stehen, als hinreißende Augenmerke ihrer Designer leuchtender Ideen. So.
Wonderful, wonderful. And with this blog, now this isn't on Tosha's blog. It has a blog of its own, which is HIEOpenSim blogspot.com. So it's HIEOPENSIM dash blogspot dash com. No, that can't be. Is that right? No, it must be opensim.blogspot.com.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, my translator is putting dots where there should be a dash, but no, the other way around. Anyway, so it's like the format is the same as Thursday's. So if I click here,
it is Thursday's blog.
Yeah, I mean the Safari blog. If it didn't happen,
not the Safari. She has a separate blog for
Hypergrid
International Expo.
Right. This is weird. I was trying to get a picture show up out of it, and that's probably walk through Expo site. Let's try it that way. Oh, here we are. Right. Think we've got it working. Oh no, it's not getting a slideshow. So basically, I've got to go in and out. How weird is that? I usually get an automatic slideshow on the Safari blog. Not here. Okay, well, I'll just scroll down. We saw the film anyway. Quick aerial shot there. Couple of shots of the booze that Thursday here took separately for the post. That's nice. Well, it's not actually a booth, is it? That's one of the art pieces.
Yeah, maybe I should put a line of text into the pictures.
Well, we got it in it. Yeah, we got it here. And of course, if I basically have Google Translate as a plugin, so it simply opened it in German and then I translated. And it's translated all this. Enchanting works by Tina Bay, a real feast for the eyes. Conclusion, Expo Park. Oh, God, me and my plugins, right. Lots of the senses, a lot for the senses and your own inventory, etc. Because obviously there's a lot of stuff you can pick up there. Oddly enough, Tosha, after you'd left earlier and I was filming from the air, I found 2 people walking around in there. You know, I don't know who they were, but they obviously advertised, they seemed, they're hearing about it, and so they've gone there to look around, walking the path, as they say. Anyway, that's enough for that. So one final thing for today, and this is, I guess, a sort of advertising-ish. We don't get paid for ads here, but basically there's a grid on OpenSim called Moonrose Grid, and somebody called Chrissy has made a film of it. I presume she's a resident. Ooh, more Red Indians.
Interesting horses.
Yes, seriously tattooed. I like that. So that's a number of different regions together there on.
I'm the grid owner of Moonrose. Thanks for watching the video. See you in World.
Sorry, I interrupted you. All right, yeah, so that's Moonrose Grid and a number of different regions on it. Now, the name there is very familiar, but I can't remember actually having visited there, so I'll probably have to go in and check that out. There was certainly some of the stuff in there I certainly haven't seen before, but Moonrose, maybe I've got some of their male fashions.
I recognize the pier with the shark on it. I know Safari's been there. So.
Oh, right. We've been to so many places over the years, and my memory's not the best. So, even looking through my film archives, I think, where was that? What was that? Yeah. Still, anyway, yeah, nice to see a good,
really nice place.
Size show there. Yeah. So I think we're at the point where we. This is Mike McCoo, a videographer. I believe he built this stage, and he's just published a load of little films showing it off. It's a nice stage. I love it when you see ones, with the graphics moving and things inside them, and good old classic dome I could make use of that stage if I want to pick up any time. Rather nice, but that's all there is to it. Just let it play out there. So, any last anything else from James and Tosha? Let's start with James, the ever silent one. Well, sometimes.
No, nothing else. Little. I thought the video of Moonrose was the last video, so you caught me off guard with that last clip. So you got to keep your
Oh.
camera people on their toes. Surprise, surprise.
Yes, I saw it was my last full clip, but I thought, well, if we're going to carry on talking, we might have something pretty running in the background. It's like I got another film on 1924, A Year in Machinima, and a dance performance to Dire Straits' Telegraph Road, but they're not for this show really. So yeah, I just thought I'd stick this in. I just like that background. It's a nice little stage. So anybody out there got that stage? Give it to me. Send it to me. Who knows? I could use it for an outside broadcast even. Right. Okay, Tosha, anything else?
Well, not really either. I liked very much that that I could see the film of Wizard Chrome about the thing about the refugees, because it is not at all the best region I ever met, but it is the closest to my heart. So that's why I especially like to see it again.
And and she made it into the story. That different people would have different abilities in terms of following the story. I think if they visited, but what Wizard had done, she'd made it. She'd filmed it as a story, and in three acts, as it were, or 3 parts. So,
well, yeah, and it actually, I think we mentioned it in the last Inworld review. It is actually a game, and you start in the villa when it's all new, and then you come to the villa where it is all bombed and gray and horrible and destroyed, and then you end up in the refugee camp.
yeah.
So she went by this that I made the installation of. And I made an installation, I remember, must have been 2018, when it was for Kraft's birthday. I made an installation like a book. You could turn the pages and then see the different chapters. And she saw that and she asked me to make a movie out of it.
Great.
But I think she did an excellent job.
Yeah, it works really well. Of course, playing it with the HUD as a game is something else entirely. And yes, I remember the trickiest bits was when you had to find the boat. Once after the villa is ruined, you got to find the boat, which ultimately gets sunk when you're in the refugee camp. But that's I haven't played it with the HUD, I don't know. But the whole thing, the whole concept of it, the 3 acts there is, there's a very definite story there. And I think you did a wonderful job. I don't think I know it's a while ago, but no, I definitely think you did excellent job putting all that together. Emotional thing.
Like I said, it's this practically the region of my heart. It's closest to my heart, this thing. And especially because, I think I told you that before also. A friend of mine who found her father very late in her life, and he was from Syria. He was from Aleppo, and she went with him to Aleppo about a year before Aleppo was turned into rubble by the bombing. And she lived in just such a place together with her father that belonged to the family of her father. And she told me, she made pictures of it, and she told me just how it should be when it was still standing, and then came the bombing, and I made the rest.
That must have been and you say she'd lost touch with her father and found him again? And this happened shortly after she found him again. That must have made
Well,
it even
yeah, like
worse.
that. She never knew her father before because he was in Germany as a student, and he had a very short affair with her mother. And she never knew who her father was. But her mother, when she was little, she must have once given the name of her father to him. It's a really moving story, and she never wanted to know her father. She had no interest whatsoever. And when she turned about 40, she started searching for him, and really strangely enough, she found him right away by his name, and he lived rather near where she is living.
Ah,
Like just 100 kilometers or so
oh,
away from her.
that's right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was delighted. Of course, he had a family and a wife and daughters and all that now. But he was so delighted he didn't know anything about her, and he was so delighted to get a new daughter. So that
Wonderful.
they
Yeah,
had it was a really touching story.
yeah, wonderful. Okay. Well, I've got a thing flashing in the background say up and coming next week, next week. Um, we will be here next week one way or another. At least Tosha and I will. We'll figure out something out to bring a show to you. James is off on a 1 week vacation. Are
Yep,
you not?
I am.
Again. Again.
Again, travel,
Again.
travel.
Come on,
That's right.
this should not be allowed. Shall we sack him and find somebody new? No,
I think
that's not going to.
I
Don't say
think you're
that.
doing I think you're doing very well, James.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
we all need a break. We all need a break. So hopefully you'll have a good one.
I will.
Hopefully we'll maybe get one of our previous, who you know well, filmers to do the show, and maybe guest on it like James does at the same time. Doing it James's way, or we'll pre-record a bit and edit it together and put it up. We will do something to make sure something comes your way this time next week, and then hopefully we'll be back to normal the week after that. Though time is creeping by, we're well into February, and then that was only a month to go before HIE. And oh gosh, golly, I did have another. So it's not a video. I think it's a picture that I thought I copied over and it seems to have gone walkabout anyway. Or is it that one? There it is. Yes, sorry, I forgot all about this at the beginning of the show. This is actually an advert for the Open Sim World's Fair that is coming soon, finally.
Mm-hmm.
And they've done a poster for it there, March the 1st to March the 31st. So it's the whole launch of March, which is barely a couple of weeks away now. Although it is Open Sim, this is, apparently it's a bit of a commercial affair. I mean, it says it told me more about this than I know, but I mean, I think there's some things you have to pay for and stuff like that. So it's not like a totally open source thing. But they've been working on it for quite a while. And we did have a little preview visit with Safari some time ago. And it was hellishly laggy. And that was when before it was going. But hopefully they'll kind of have those sort of things fixed now. So glad I remembered that. I'd almost forgotten to show you that. Flight of the Bumblebee ride. Well, there you go. That's what it's all about, really, isn't it? Okay, so with that, I'll just thank everybody here. Thank you, as always, to the right-hand man, James Atlloud, for sitting on things and fiddling with knobs and chatting now and again. Thank you, James.
That's right. You're very welcome, Alan. Thank you, too.
And thank you, of course, to our wonderful co-host, Tosha Tyran. Thank you, Tosha.
Sure thing. Been great fun. Thank you.
One of these days, I'm going to call you Tosha the Tyrant. It's sort of, you just think Tyran should have something on the end of it. No, so I'm just joking,
Well, really, I chose that name because of the illusion it has.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not just for nothing.
Right.
Well chosen.
Wow. So you are the self-declared tyrant.
Yeah, but I mellowed down a lot.
Yeah. Well, thank God you're not This is not Donald Trump, anyway. Right. I mean, they're not a tyrant at all. But enough of that. We're not here to talk about such things. Okay, so we will be back next week one way or another. So for now, I'd just like to wish you all a very good morning, a very good afternoon, a very good evening, and a good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are. And we're out of here. It's a wrap.